We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Dolphins versus Chiefs, looking at the first game to get a little game preview for the playoff matchup, really looking at the Chiefs defense versus the Dolphins offense, because I feel like that's the big one in this game. The Dolphins offense could have stepped up and played better last time. It was the Chiefs ran a lot of different coverages, pretty much everything around a similar mark. They came out and played a lot of single high on early downs, so Dolphins tried to, get the passing game going versus the cover threes, the cover ones, and they found some success there, but then they really did struggle with the multiplicity of their looks. The Chiefs were running some cover two, they ran two-man, they ran quarters, cover six, made things difficult, and really where it came down to it is the Chiefs just stopped the run for the most part of the game. Dolphins didn't get the running game going until it was too late. I think they have to get the running game really successful. They ran a lot of toss plays in this game, and they just did not work. It was either negative gains or no gains for way too long. They had one successful one later that went for a touchdown, but this was just back and forth, nothing really getting going on that front, and we'll get some Achane video in here because Achane definitely has been playing really, really well, and he'll be a key, he's a key difference. He didn't play in this game last time, so that will be important. So I think on, early downs, Dolphins got to find some success when they see some cover one, cover three to be able to throw the ball. If they see that, because they've been really good against versus that all year, but last week they really struggled. And these windows were tight. Like Tua, I think was having a decent game early on. He just struggled on that final drive versus the Chiefs. So that's another, big issue. They brought some good pressure as well. And then this was also probably Tyreek Hill's worst game of the season. He had a couple drops. He had that big fumble. Those were the things that hurt them. And then those penalties that you just saw, those really, really hurt a lot of these Dolphins drives. It seemed like they were having some decent success, and then they would have either one big negative run that hurt them, one big sack that ended a drive, or just penalties took that away, or as a combination of all of them. They really had a hard time getting in rhythm, but I think, there were some opportunities there. They just didn't capitalize, whether it was the drops, the big turnovers, the sacks, penalties, whatever it is. But I do think they can find the success if the play calling is correct, and I think if they're able to get the running game going a little more successfully early on, I think, that's the key to this Dolphins game. They need to score 20-plus points in this one to have a chance. The defense, I think, can, do a decent job of bending and not breaking versus the Chiefs, but it should be a interesting matchup on that side of the ball. But yeah, overall, there's a lot of things I want to see, but running the ball successfully and then being able to, pass versus their single high looks in this game, hopefully having Waddle and Tyreek back, not getting bracketed there, and just really recognizing, hopefully Tua is able to recognize their coverages when they're bringing their blitzes, because they're going to show a variety of looks. Really break down the first play of this game. It was a 15-yard gain from Tua. The play action, I like doing this, especially when they came out in cover three, but those windows were tight. He had to be really on point in this game, especially early on with these throws here, having Tyreek basically run a clear out with Waddle running a deeper curl and then hit it between this triangle of defenders. And the anticipation, all of that is there. They just got to be able to do that very consistently in this game. And I would not mind to see a little more some checkdowns too, because there was some checkdowns open, because you can see, look at these defenders, they're bailing out after they see play action. They bail to get out of there. So I think the Dolphins got to build in some more easy checkdowns, because right here they have one, but sometimes in these games I feel like there's not a real quick check down for Tua to get to. So I think it's a combination of Tua getting there and having that option for him. 3rd and 10. This was that sack that I showed. They had the penalties early, and then they bring the corner blitz. Tua's just not able to recognize it. I feel like Tua's been really good versus the blitz this season, just seeing it. But the Chiefs actually did a really good job timing their blitz. I feel like they would see the motion pre-snap, know the snap is about to come, start sneaking forward, and then they're sliding in the protection to the right, and then the corner is able to come in unblocked. Never had a chance. That happened multiple times throughout this game. So something to be aware of, having a hot option, being able to get the ball out, and hopefully they can just do a better job either protecting up front or just having that hot option for Tua to go to, because on that specific play, there was nowhere for him to make that option. I actually do think this was one of McDaniel's biggest struggle games last time overall, and hopefully he can bounce back, have a better game plan. And if they're going to run those toss plays that didn't work in this game, at least they have Achane, because they were doing those plays like Ahmed and Mostert. And Mostert, I want to see get downhill more, because that's more of his style of game. And Ahmed is just not going to capture the edge versus teams like this. Just another example of a 1st and 10, and you got it. Single high. They come out in single high. Dolphins recognize this. They're going to try to throw, they actually rotate down. They rock and roll the safeties, but it's still single high. But look at these throws that Tua is asked to make. Like, these are tough. It's play action. You really only have two options. It's a two-man route concept, and Tua's first read is this, and these guys are bailing back away from the QB, and he hits a very tight window throw. So I would like to see like more of this, but it's going to be difficult, like, to continuously make these throws over and over. This is not something that's just going to be a super consistent thing. So I think you see single high, maybe be able to attack more outside the numbers as well, because look how, like, they were really just giving up the flats in these plays. Like, if we look out to the outside here with Waddle, the guy who's responsible for the flat just carries Tyreek. Imagine Waddle's just running a comeback in, and look at this corner, how much depth he's gaining. The Dolphins have run a decent amount of comebacks this year, so especially with Tyreek, so I wouldn't mind to see a few of those targeted just to keep the defense honest, allow you to get back to the middle of the field. And if they do, like, cheat down with their corners, start taking some one-on-one shots down the field. Another toss play on a 2nd and 10, and they just, like, kind of ruined the drives. Like, there was multiple times where they got to, like, 2nd and 10, and, like, they just took the ball out of Tua's hands and didn't really give him a chance, which is unfortunate. And I think it hurt them on a few different drives. And then they have some penalties. Mostert was not able to get these types of plays going, especially the crack toss. It was the crack toss in this game that wasn't really working. The linebackers, their DBs, they're very aggressive, very good recognition skills. I think they should try to get downhill a little bit more. Try to play some bully ball in that cold. I know the cold's going to be a big part. Get the ball downhill to Mostert. If you want to run this stuff to Achane, I'm fine with that. I still think might be better to do some other stuff. You still got to show this, which is fine. And they're running, the different variation of the toss now with, like, the fake QB, what Tua does now, the little fake, then hit the toss to the opposite side. So it should be interesting. Probably going to show some Achane film now just to show what he's going to bring, difference maker style in this game. Going to look at some Achane plays. Look how, successful these tosses were, even though the teams, they do, like, the hezzy at the beginning, and it really doesn't affect that much for the most part with the Bills defender. It might freeze one linebacker. It might freeze, literally the only real effect it has. It pulls this guy down just a step, and allows Eichenberg to get bodies on him. But if you look over here, they really expect it, but they just block it up really well, and then you get Achane one-on-one with space. Like, if this is blocked up like this, they can have so much success. He's going to make a guy miss. Good contact balance. He's just so explosive, and he just fits this scheme so well. That's why I feel like he could be the difference maker in this game, because really, other than the Tyreek Hill fumble, I feel like the biggest problem with the Chiefs, or the Dolphins offense versus the Chiefs in that game, was the running game, specifically toss plays. They had so many negatives, and that's really where Achane can get it going. Like, he'll have some negative ones, but for every negative, he's going to also gain 15 plus on a different play. Then here, another one, wanted to get this shown just to show what they can possibly do within this game. It was also, different types of concepts too. Like, it feels like they're running more and more concepts here that just varying. Like, they'll do some similar stuff, but the crack toss is just not the exact same. Like, here they'll motion across with Claypool. They do the, Tua opens up this way, then tosses it. Berrios is, like, kind of crack tossing out in space. And also the Dolphins offensive line is just blocking this up better at this point in the season, I think. So hopefully, because the Chiefs game, they just weren't blocking it up well. Everyone ends up getting there, and Achane, wow. I mean, that cut is absolutely ridiculous. Just had to show this, just to show how effective he is. Look at his step frequency. Like, it's something I always notice with running backs is how quick their step frequency is. And he is so lightning quick. Very, very fun, very great. And I feel like, to me, he is one of the keys to success. Get him going for the Dolphins. It will be absolutely huge. And then after, running some single high early on, Dolphins started to see some variations of looks, whether it stops to see some cover 3, start seeing some, like, 2-man variations of 2-man. This is more like they're playing 2-man back here, but it's more like they're bracketing, which is interesting. And they press Tyreek off the line. He actually does get hands to the face here, and he gets thrown off on his timing. So the play action, so the timing's just slightly off. Tua does a good job feeling in the pocket, delivering actually a pretty good ball down the field. It's just slightly out of the reach for Tyreek. He just barely misses it. He probably still could have hung on, but they actually threw this type of play multiple times where, like, they release to the inside, make it look like, I'm going to break across the middle of the field like they always do, but then break it back to the corner. And they were running this against single high 2-man, and they got the nice leverage advantage. They even scored on this play to Cedric Wilson, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these types of plays again, but hopefully they mix it up because the Chiefs, I'm guessing, will be expecting to see this a little bit more because the Dolphins ran it multiple times. Literally, here it is again, 2 plays later, they run it to Waddle. This time, Chiefs go into cover 3, try to sell it to the inside. Chiefs corners, very good players, man. They understand leverage where they have help to the middle of the field. He's just playing that low outside leverage, so even when Waddle peeks the inside, he doesn't fall for it. Tua is throwing this with anticipation, tries to hit Waddle back to the outside. Waddle just never sees it, and it's incomplete. But they were trying to take multiple shots like this down the field. It just wasn't their traditional deep shots. Probably could have hit, Julian Hill was wide open on that play, but yeah, they were trying to get that deep ball. He got the look that they wanted. It just wasn't completed. Then the Dolphins offense didn't find any consistency until right before the half, that 2-minute warning. They started to move the ball down the field. They started getting some decent looks. Chiefs go cover 1. That's what they want. Chiefs go cover 1. Dolphins can absolutely, I wouldn't mind if the Dolphins threw the ball all day if the Chiefs run cover 1 a lot, which they do run a decent amount of cover 1. But if they're going cover 2, man, run the rock, get that thing going, rotate people in and out, keep people fresh. Let the O-line get in rhythm. Waddle just wins his one-on-one timing over the middle of the field. Boom. Complete that all day. The next play, they get another nice little rotation here. They get that motion. It gets this guy to widen. You hit Tyreek. But even with their guys, look how their slot guys play this. They are leaving these flats open. This is a rotation into a cover 3 right here. This guy is a seam flat defender. This guy's able to just get out into the flat very quickly. And even though he hesitates for just a second, Tua should throw this. He makes the correct decision. But they are squeezing these on Tyreek's. These flats are open. They were open multiple times throughout this game. So hopefully they recognize that, see that they can get some quick options out there. As long as they're threatening the seam here with other players, the flat has opportunity. And if they're going to adjust to the flat, the seams should be more open, more windows to work through, and they get a nice little play going there. Unfortunately, the Dolphins drive that was looking very promising right before the half. They were finally starting to get the ball, move it with some consistency. They didn't beat themselves. Then they beat themselves with the Tyreek fumble. This was the play that changed the game, because after this, the Dolphins defense didn't give up any scores. Dolphins started to move the ball a little bit, and then it was just too late. This was the difference play in the game. So I think, they still can have a good chance to win. They just can't have dumb plays like this. They literally lost the Bills game because of just one big dumb play, and it was a punt return that ended up happening only because a player got hurt on the play, which is just unfortunate. This play can easily be avoided, so hopefully they can do that. They are a little more hurt with injuries this time, but they also have a little more help on the offensive side of the ball. Hopefully Waddle and Mostert can be healthy, because last time they played this game, it was a lot of Cedric, because Waddle got hurt very early on. Waddle played the entire game, but he was definitely banged up and not 100%, and Tyreek was not playing well, probably his worst game of the season. Like I was saying, this is their first touchdown. They finally are able to get this completed, that corner route. They get the cover 1 look, exactly what you want. And you just throw it up, give your receiver a chance. Probably could have even thrown another play action. Look at the play action really affects these guys, man. Hopefully they're able to get things a little more consistently. And if this play action affects them and pulls them down that much, even Tyreek had a lot of space to work over the middle of the field. Tua just takes that deep shot, and they're able to finally get it within the end zone. Cedric made some solid plays in this game. Hopefully guys can create a little more separation. I'm not expecting a ton of separation from Cedric, but just a good overall play, adjustment, getting into the end zone, those types of plays. Got to have the big ones, and got to have them a little more consistently against this Kansas City defense, which is very, very good. Here's their next touchdown. This came off a nice little defensive play. They got a little lucky here as well, because they had a penalty that helped them out. They also had penalties that almost ruined the drive. This was finally the play where they got the toss going. It wasn't the crack toss. They had it was almost like a lead-in toss, which is more nice to see with the motion with it. It wasn't as obvious for the defense to read it this time, and they get able to attack this perfectly angled, basically takes on 2 guys, and Mostert is able to get more vertical. I feel like the other plays, he has to go horizontal a little too much, but this time he's able to widen these guys just enough without getting hit, keep his momentum, then get vertical down the hill. So hopefully they can run more of these type of toss concepts. That's what they want to go to with HN, but the running game really didn't have a positive play until this one, which is, in this third quarter, middle way through the third quarter. Then they have another promising drive. Chiefs looking like they're going to bring pressure. They go cover 0. Boom. Tua is able to recognize it. If he can recognize the blitz, get the ball out fast, which he does a good job of doing. He has the receivers that can get open quick enough versus man-to-man like this. If they have the right concepts, he gets Tyreek going. But then this drive gets ruined from a 6-yard toss play. They go into this. They try to run the crack toss. It just doesn't work. Ahmed loses 6 yards. I don't know why they're running that to Ahmed too. And that just sort of ruins another drive. Then they have the sack, which this guy comes in unblocked. There's no real hot option anyways. And I remember during the game, they kind of blamed this one on Tua. And I think the other one you possibly could have blamed on Tua for not recognizing the blitz. But this one I think is on Armstead because they slide protection to the left. And Armstead should block the far outside guy because they have 3-on-3 matchup. But he just doesn't do it and he sees it too late. So this one's actually on Teron Armstead. So it wasn't Armstead's best game. But I think this is one of like his first games back too. And he's been playing much better. So I think that's a big boost overall. The O-line will be... They had Connor Williams this game, but they had 2 backup guards. This game they'll have Robert Hunt and then the backup center and a guard. So pretty similar offensive line-wise. We'll see how it ends up adding up. Hopefully Robert Hunt can bully some guys in the cold. Then we finally get to the final drive. Chiefs start playing some more, too high looks. They get some softer boxes because, they're expecting the pass. Dolphins just come out, run it right away. They get some more outside zone from shotgun this time. They're attacking the edges, but from doing this, it makes their offense way less predictable. With these tosses, they're expecting tosses. This is able to get them super widened just based on this mesh point here, and then it allows Mostert to get upfield, get vertical. It just fits more into his skill set, and it was something the Chiefs weren't expecting. They're not the best run defense. Then they literally go out and run the exact same play. Gets blocked up beautifully again. Good recognition skills. This is kind of where the drive starts to fall apart. This was probably Tua's worst drive of the game. This was probably the play, it was a 1st and 10. He kind of throws an incompletion. He probably could have, hit this to Tyreek or, waited a little bit, throwing it to Smythe. Then he starts to feel the pressure, kind of just throws it away. It is what it is. He didn't try to force it. He probably could have got a completion. Not the worst play. Then you go into your 2nd and 10. Chiefs playing 2-man. It's really difficult to throw versus 2-man. And he's trying to, hit this route here to Waddle, and he just ends up falling. So just a miscommunication. Probably could have been a little more patient. Maybe found Ahmed down here for like 5 yards. He probably would have got tackled for about 5 or 6. But it would have been nice to get that going as well. Just looked a little uncomfortable here at this point in the game. Then we get to the 3rd and 10. This is the one that looks worse than it is. Him and Cedric just not on the same page. He sees Cedric start to work deep. He's ready to throw like a little bit of a fade comeback type thing, and it just doesn't end up working. And this the Chiefs go 0. They went like 0 a lot and just started bringing some blitzes at the end of the game, and we're like bracketing people. And they had some options to hit these guys. And then here's the other infamous play with the miss kind of snap into a bobbled as well, and they had cover 0. If they run cover 0, he probably gonna hit Waddle over the middle. Chiefs not afraid to bring blitzes. They got to be able to have a plan to battle it with your hots. Know where to go with the ball. This one, to be fair, if you have a missed snap against cover 0, even if Tua catches it, it just throws off the whole timing and rhythm of the play. You have to make an insanely good play as a quarterback to really beat 0 with a bad snap, even if you have a nice catch on it. So that really hurts the play overall. So we'll see how it ends up playing out in this next game. It should be interesting. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm super excited for this, and I'll see you guys next time.